Hi, today I'm going to talk about the latest changes I've made to my Santa Cruz Raptor Kayak. I've changed some of the electronics that are contained up here in the front hatch. I've also updated the pedal steering with UV resistant irrigation tubing, and also made changes to the trolling motor controls and electronics in the back of the kayak. A lot of these modifications that I've already done to this kayak are on separate videos, but I'm going to go over the latest ones in detail today. I'm going to start off with the electronics that are housed in the front hatch here. This is where I keep my 12-volt, 35 amp hour battery, and it sits in that tray right there, which is sealed to the inner hull with some marine goop to keep it from moving around. And there's also a Velcro strap to keep the battery in place. In front of the battery, you can see I have my shoot-through hull transducer, and the little well section there is made out of a 99-cent flip-flop, and it's set using marine goop in there. Never had any trouble with it. The only thing that's not accurate is the water temperature, but that doesn't really matter to me. And then I upgraded the electronics to give it a terminal fuse box. This runs my separate electronic pieces on here, and there's 4 fuses that go here, and I'm only currently using 3. And this post terminal box is waterproof, and it just screws on with a wing nut to the positive terminal of the battery. And so of course you have the negative part that goes onto the negative terminal of the battery to complete the circuit for your fuses. Up front here, this right here is a 50 amp circuit breaker, and this is the little reset button here. And I have this as a separate circuit with a quick connect that hooks up to the battery, and this goes to the momentary switch here, which also acts as a kill or safety switch, and then that goes directly to the trolling motor. So that's on a separate circuit with this 50 amp circuit breaker. Continuing with the electronics, this is the switch I've used for the trolling motor. Now I'm using the original switch that was contained in the head of the trolling motor that I removed and hooked up. And then I just put little markings, and you can see you've got the 5 forward and 3 reverse settings. And I also added a little voltmeter there. And I made this out of a 4x4 exterior electronics box or electrical box from Home Depot, and then just used the PVC screw-in type connector to go through the box and through the kayak in order to run the wires through. And this is wired directly back to the trolling motor here, in which I've also added this electrical quick connect, just like this. I upgraded the foot pedal steering control system by beefing up the motor mount, which is shown in another video, and also by changing the control arm. I still have the return springs hooked to the control arm and then back to the trolling motor bracket. This helps bring the controlling arm to a 0 position when you remove your feet from the pedals. And as you see, the cable is connected to the control arm, and then it goes through a center mounted eye bolt, which then goes back to the top outside of the Raptor kayak. The reason it's on the outside of the kayak is because there's not a lot of access to the inside, so this was an easier way to do it. And the control tubing that I used is 1/4 inch UV resistant irrigation tubing, and there's also another video for that. To secure the tubing, I used 1/4-inch stainless steel cable connectors. And in front of it, to help guide the 2mm Dyneema line through the tubing, is a little stainless steel eye bolt. And that helps keep it from cutting into the tubing and wearing it out. And the tubing goes along the top part of the kayak, and where it exits towards the front and connects to this aftermarket Atwood foot pedal. Now I removed the back part of the foot pedal to make it slide back and forth, and I chose the Atwood because it has loose tolerances, which makes it easier to push it forwards and backwards. And there was also a pre-drilled hole that I threaded the line through. And then I made a loop using a lead loop crimp, and then bolted it back there to hold it in place. And that's how the steering was upgraded. And you push on the left pedal to turn left, and on the right pedal to turn right. So that's the latest upgrades I've made to my Raptor kayak. If anybody out there has any questions, please leave them for me in the comment section. Thank you.